if you are joining in live, and also welcome if you're joining in on the recording. I hope you're well and healthy. It's been a busy weekend, so I was like, a part of me was like, I don't know if this is going to happen, but we're here and it's happening. But if I sort of go on tangents or stop making sense, it's probably because just my brain's a little tired. Um, yeah, if you can't make it to the Zooms, that is so cool. But there is a Zoom that is that you can jump into and sort of ask me questions directly, which can be really nice. And what else? I don't know. We'll get started in a few minutes. Just turn my mic up. Yeah, we'll get started in a few minutes. And if you have any questions, either join me on the Discord or there's a Facebook group or message me directly, and I might be able to cover it in future lessons. But for now, yeah, the classes are on at 11 a.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. They go for half an hour. They're casual drop-in for free, and you just come in and ask me questions. Could be whatever's on your mind at the time. I work more in that fashion, very much sort of go with the flow rather than a set curriculum. My brain doesn't really work like that. All right, well, I'm going to go back to a fancy little waiting screen until we start back up. So I'll see you soon.
Hello, I am saying something. Oh, am I?
Can you go again?
Hello.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, cool.
Yay.
How you doing? What's news?
All right, everything's very chaotic right now. I've got an exam tomorrow and everything is like happening.
Great. I feel you there. There's just a lot going on, as I'm sure you know, with BU and stuff. So,
Yes.
and other little jobs I'm doing. So I'm kind of like, I'm a bit in chaotic mood too. But hopefully, we can find some order in the chaos. Have you had any time to sort of think of any questions you might want to, or anything you'd like me to elaborate on?
I sadly not.
Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't had any time to dedicate to this, very sadly. It's all been my mind has been consumed by like work and exams and
Yeah.
Yeah, after tomorrow, I should be a lot happier.
So what time's your exam today?
It's
Do you have an
tomorrow.
exam? It's
Like
tomorrow.
1:30. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, you poor thing. Um, yeah, I completely understand. That's so fine. But you're here, which is really great.
I love working and listening in and picking up bits and pieces
Oh,
here and there.
yay. It looks like you may be the only one here today, so I might just hang out for a couple more minutes.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Might just launch straight into some stuff. So, um, yeah, if you have any questions, just feel free to pop it in the chat. I know you're sort of balancing work and stuff. Otherwise, I'm just gonna like throw a lot of information out there because thanks for the thumbs up. Because I do get people watching this after the fact, so um, obviously the benefit of being in the Zoom means that you can kind of cater what I teach, but at the same time, I can just kind of go on about lots of boring stuff. Which means we'll do some rhythm. I want to make sure everyone's super clear on the rhythm. Yeah, party vibes indeed. So, very classic table I'm going to draw here. Oh, no, not that. Bing, bing, da, 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 da. It's really annoying to draw the whole thing. And I get lazier and lazier as I go. Anyway, I won't draw the whole thing, but the idea is that this splits off into more notes. So, rhythm. Okay, so rhythm is the whole idea that sound and pitch follows a form, follows a sort of a temporal form, and when it sort of moves in a particular sequence, we might then refer to it as rhythm. If it's completely random and chaotic, there's a potential we may not refer to it as rhythm, but that is a whole kind of philosophical, subjective discussion that we can have another day. As far as like, hey, I just want to play like The Scientist, Coldplay or whatever, you know, you got the music or something, you know, as far as Western notation goes, we need just sort of an ordered way of sequencing the notes that we can read it in the timing that is desired. So, there are two naming conventions for each note, each rhythmic duration. I'll teach you the first one, which is probably something that you're a bit more familiar with. So, the first one is referred to as a semi-breve, and that consists of 4 beats. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, off. And it's like a little oval shape, kind of squished oval shape. The whole idea with this tree is that then we can split that 4 beats up into 2 beats, which we will then refer to as a minim. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are 2 minims. Then we can split the minim into 1. We can split 1 minim into 2 crotchets. And this is kind of our baseline that we want to sort of assess a lot of sort of rock pop music with the crotchets. So this would be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So a note per beat. If I was playing 4 of them, then we can split this up even more into half beats. So 2 quavers per 1 crotchet, 2 crotchets per 1 minim, 2 minims per 1 semi-brief. And then one more time, we can split it up into a quarter of that. So we've got the quaver, and we've got semi-quaver. And then we've got like demi-semi-quavers and semi-demi-semi, whatever. I don't know. that keeps getting smaller, but you can Google that. So as I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I can then have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so there are 8 quavers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I can have 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana. So 4 crotchets. Within those 4 crotchets can exist 8 quavers. Within 8 quavers can exist 16 semiquavers. So 4 crotchets, 4 crotchets, 8 quavers, 16 semiquavers, 2 minims, 1 semibreve. So here's the thing, okay? It's a bit of a weird way of looking at it, and it kind of can do your head in, but if you think too much about it, it will do no good. But basically, the sort of standard sentiment is that each of these notes will divide up within each other. That's fine, there's no issue there. But there's also another naming convention where we refer to the semibreve as a whole note. So as we can refer to it as a whole note, we can then refer to the minim as a half note. As we refer to the minim as a half note, we refer to the crotchet as... Sorry, my phone's going off like it's the 90s. Doing a little buzzy thing. The crotchet, so the minim is a half note, the crotchet is a quarter note, the quaver is an eighth note, and the semiquaver is a 16th note. And then you have 32nds and 64ths and that sort of stuff. So, and that's referring back to the semibreve. Just sort of 2 different ways of looking at it. I wouldn't say they're completely different. They sort of inform each other, so it's kind of important to have a basic understanding of either way of looking at it. So, as I said, whole, half, quarter, eighth, 16th. I know it gets a bit confusing because, you know, we've already sort of done half notes in the quaver, which sort of doesn't correlate with what we're doing now. But that half note is half of a crotchet. Okay, so it's sort of dividing the whole note into many pieces. So 2 different ways. The semibreve can be referred to as a whole note. The minim can be referred to as a half note. The crotchet can be referred to as a quarter note. The quaver can be referred to as an eighth note, and the semiquaver can be referred to as a 16th note. Let's just look at some potential patterns of rhythm. So typically, a particular note duration will exist within a bar, and a bar is a cell of music. It's just a way of organizing the music. We put it in what's called a bar, and a bar is indicated by a bar line. So if you don't have a bar line, you probably don't have a bar. Okay, the bar line doesn't really represent time at all. There's sort of no time that exists over the bar line. The bar line is purely sort of a visual way of delineating the cells of the music. And so we've rather than not having any bar lines and just having sort of one gigantic bar for the whole song, we divide it into smaller cells and smaller cells so that when we read it, it's a bit easier to read. And it also kind of reflects the overall musicality of the piece. So, this is the bar line. That's the bar line. Between the bar lines is a bar. Okay. So, music exists within the bar lines, basically. Okay. Not on the bar line. Nothing really happens on the bar line. That's just sort of an invisible border. That is quite visible because you can see it, but it doesn't make any sound. Now it probably might seem a bit obvious, but it is worth saying. So, within a bar, we've got someone joining in. It's great. Just waiting for them to hop in. Yeah, it is party vibes, isn't it? Don't believe I recognize his name. Anyway, whilst it's joining, I will just kick on. So, okay, we'll just let that happen. Okay, so I'm drawing a semibreve within a bar, which indicates that there are 4 beats within a bar. Okay, there can be multiple beats within a bar. we'll talk about that in a second. That's referring to time signatures. But right now, I'm going to make the general assumption that there are 4 beats within a bar, which means that I can put a semi-breve into one bar, which is also referred to as a whole note. And I can also put in... I don't think my stems are in the right direction. Oh. I can put 2 minims in a bar. I can also put 4 crotchets in a bar. And I can also put 8 quavers in a bar, which of course can also then be divided into 16 sixteenths. So this is the musical grid that we're working on in, and the reason we start here is because most pop rock music is in this kind of 4/4 time. It's the most common that you'll see. But here we have a piece of music, for example, if I play each bar, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... I didn't play all the notes on the piano, but that's all right. So we can subdivide each of the beats into smaller and smaller and smaller components. Our friend just left, so I don't know what's going on there, but that's okay. Maybe next time. So we can subdivide. 2 minims can exist in a semi-breve. 4 crotchets can exist in a semi-breve. 8 quavers can exist within a semi-breve, etc., etc. The point is that we have a grid, and we can divide it by many different components, and that's when we start to go into the realm of subdivision. So if you can actually subdivide within the semi-breve and go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so if you can feel that pulse, even if you're playing a semi-breve, 1, 2, 3, 4. Most people, when they're starting out, they go to play semi-breve, but they don't count for the full beat, and they skip time. No, they just sort of like shorthand time, and they just sort of they just skip beats, and then they play the next bar, and it's not a full semi-breve because they're not counting, or they're not feeling the pulse inside of them. Cool. And of course we can have different permutations. We can have, different combinations. So we can have crotchet, quaver, crotchet, quaver. The way that I like to count quavers, if they're on the beat, I like to think of the number of the beat, and then I use the word and. Time travel. Yeah, people do time travel through. And Lauren's joining on Twitch. How trendy. Yay. That's cool. I got to keep an eye on the chats. Well, welcome, Lauren. Welcome. How snazzy. I love that. So let me know if there's any issues with sound or visual, Lauren, and I'll fix it up. But if you're happy just chilling out, having a bit of a watch, that's great. I love it. So we can have 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. So it's 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. And traditionally in a class, I'd probably ask you to count this out. Let's say, for example, you have the time and the space and the capacity to do this. I would count you in. I'd go 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. And of course, we'd sort of, thanks, Lauren. We'd sort of try it one more time, and I wouldn't clap the rhythm, and you'd see if you get it. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully you've done 1, 2 and 3, 4 and, which is this rhythm here. So, and of course I can have just a simpler rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up, Wangy. That's great. And then of course I can have So here, slightly more complex rhythm. Firstly, I like to identify the strong beats. Strong beats are generally on a particular number. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4. In pop rock music, generally the stronger beats are 2 and 4, and 1, 3 are the weaker beats. In sort of more traditional music, 1 and 3 are the stronger beats, and 2 and 4 are the weaker beats. Hence why you may have seen memes and things online of like rock and pop musicians getting the audience to clap on 2 and 4 rather than 1 and 3. But most of the time, the general public will clap on 1 and 3 because they don't know what's going on. And it's Makes me feel quite disastrous when I'm sitting there watching a show in a bows and clapping on the 2 and 4 and people are looking at me weirdly. But that's life, isn't it, right? Friends don't let friends clap on 1 and 3. I think that's how it goes. Anyway, something like that. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, we don't know if it's pop or rock or classical or whatever. We're just doing sort of just generic rhythmic examples. The essence there is that I want to look for the main beats. I want to subdivide the beats by the smallest division within a beat. So in this case, it's divided by 2 for the quavers. 1E, 1E and R for the 3. And 4 is just a whole 4, just a whole quarter note, because the crotchet is also referred to as quarter note, just quarter of the bar. So here I have this rhythm: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. Of course, the clapping semi-quavers is a little bit difficult. 3E and a 4. So do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3E and a 4. Now do that one more time. We'll just clap the beats now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully, if you're clapping along, we get 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. So we can see that the 3 and-a is the same duration as 4, and the 4 is the same duration as 2, 4 is the same duration as 1. They're all equal duration. They're just placed in different spaces. Nothing too crazy here. I might just pull up a piece of music. If anyone has a question, please let me know. I'll try to find something that's kind of simple. Yeah. All right. Let's just chat about time signatures for a second, okay? Not that it's worth more than that, but that's okay. The way I think of it is quantity and quality. So how many and what kind, which is to say how many and what kind. So like top number is how many, bottom number is what kind. I know I'm just repeating myself. So the top number, as I said, how many? So that means that there's 4. 4 of what? That's where we look at our fractions that we spoke about before. So the whole note is a whole note, 1 over 1. The minim is a half note, 1 over 2. The crotchet is a quarter note, 1 over 4. Quavers, 1 over 8. And then 16th note is 1 over 16th. So here I see the denominator, and it's not like technically a fraction, but we sort of want to look at it like that because it just makes a bit more sense. So the quantity is 4. I go 4 of what? I go 4, the denominator being 4. Okay, so it's 4 quarter notes. 4 quarter notes. What does that actually mean? It means that there are 4 quarter notes per bar. And what is a bar? The bar is the space between 2 bar lines. 4/4 is the most common, well, it's actually also referred to as common time. So as far as like Western music goes, like pop and rock, and like nearly every song you listen to on the radio, if you're listening to the radio, it could be, generally speaking, it'll be in 4/4, not always. And if it's not, then you have this fun game of like trying to pick the beats, which can be really fun, of going like, what time signature is this in? So I've got 4 beats per bar, which means that every time I read a bar of this music, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do know this song, which is great. Let's just pick this at random. So let's look at this melody, shall we? We'll just ignore the chords for a second. Melody, crotchet, beat 1, crotchet, beat 2, quavers, 3 and, crotchet, beat 4. Okay? Crotchet, beat 1, crotchet, beat 2. When the beat is not played, I usually put in parentheses because I like to know that the 4 is there, but the 4 is not sounding at this point. I'm doing a quick analysis, so if anyone has any questions, want me to slow down on this, let me know. So here in the left hand, I look for the strong beats. I label the strong beats first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should be able to get to 4 because that's indicated by my time signature. So make sure you always check the time signature. That will tell you how many beats there are per bar. 4 quarter notes. I should be able to get to the number 4. Now, I look at the actual the rhythm that I'm playing, and I'm going to subdivide those 4, the number 4, sorry, the 4 points that I've just drawn, into the smallest component of note that I can see in the music. Now, fun fact, side note, the quaver traditionally looks like this, but when 2 quavers are joined together, we join them by a beam. That looks really bad. But of course, in this context, there are 4 quavers joined together, and not always, but the 4 quavers will be joined together, can be joined together by the full beam. So it's still a quaver, and a quaver is an 8th note, which means that we want to actually divide the 4 beats by 8 equal components. And the easiest way to do that is just to draw an and in between the beats. So if I count to myself 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going to have quavers, no problem. They're quavers. That's 8 quavers. This is a great example because there are quavers throughout the whole bar. So if you even just basically break down the rhythm in that way, all the next step you have to do is actually work out what the notes are. In this, we're sort of derailing now for the next few minutes just so I can actually analyze the piece properly. What you'd commonly see as bass clef is actually treble clef, which is fine. It's just saying that they want you to play the left hand higher up the piano rather than in the normal bass clef. As I said, clef is synonymous with the word key in the sense like a legend on a map. So they can be any clefs. There's actually probably 5 or 6, even more clefs, and they can be placed at any point. And as soon as you draw the clef, you have a reference point. So this crosshair that I like to call it is the G note, which is why we call it also the G clef. So for example, in theory, if I moved and shifted the treble clef up or down, I would then move the G line and then I'd have a different reference point. But commonly, that's where the treble clef is. No issues. That's just where the treble clef is. So in this context, let's just draw the treble clef so you have a bit of an idea. I just moved the G line, great. Hopefully through our other practice that we've done, we know that on the spaces it's F-A-C-E, and in the lines it's E-G-B-D-F. Okay, now if you actually go between those 2 letters, it's sequential. So E goes to F, F goes to G, G goes to A, B, C, D, E, F. It's just a way of quickly identifying the spaces and the lines. Sure. We see that the first is an F, the next is a C. Now, we haven't talked too much about key signatures, but we're in the key of F, which means we have a B flat. So when I see a B, I'm going to flatten it. Now, sight reading tip, number 27. Look for patterns and look for duplication and look for similarities. So it's a bit of a spot the difference. If I'm sight reading, I'm going to look to see if something is similar so that I don't have to spend as much mental exertion reproducing, trying to work it out again. In this case, with experience and time and mental whatever, I can see that the next 4 notes are the same. So I don't have to worry too much. I just have to repeat what I just did in the first place. I'm aware that there's 2 minims chilling out in this bar, and I'm intentionally ignoring them just because it'll overcomplicate things a little bit. For those playing at home, it is a second voicing within the bar, and basically it just wants you to hold that note whilst you play the other notes, which is fine, but we don't have to talk about it too much right now. So I have this rhythm that goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Very simple. And then I've got this other rhythm in the right hand. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then 1, 2, 3 and 4. So do bow do bow do bow do bow dun dun dee dun da. For those who are wanting to improve their piano and drive themselves insane when they're trying to do 2 things at once, because I remember trying to play something like that and just having it be grueling and tense, and you just get really frustrated. Just work on one hand, then work on the other hand, work on the other hand. Just try to see if you can split the time between both hands equally, and see if you can clap the rhythms or tap a surface and actually tap both rhythms. So I would actually go with my left hand 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. With the right hand 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you can't really see that, but I'm tapping the individual rhythms depending on what the hand is. Just because the sort of dextral neurological connection with the hands versus the fingers, you kind of have to build the independence in the fingers, but in the hands you'll be able to kind of tap the rhythm a little bit easier. It won't be super easy, but it'll be easier. This is quite a relatively simple tune. It's filled up of quavers and crotchets. So we've spoken about rhythm, we've spoken about time signatures. The next kind of thing is talking about tempo. Tempo is the speed of the piece. The time signature doesn't exactly denote the tempo, but it can give you clues as to what maybe the tempo might be. Generally in a piece of music, we might see a style or a tempo marking at the top. We have this sort of vague instruction, rather slowly and simply. It's fine, there's no problem there. I mean, like, it's true. It's just interesting to see the word rather, because you want to try to be as clear as possible with these sorts of instructions. Generally speaking, if the person's reading the music for the first time. Of course, most people will approach a song like this and be like, nah, I know the song, I don't have to think too much about it. Rather slowly and simply, I'd probably approach it like this. So there'd be a bit of rubato, a bit of sort of like the bit of very gentle lullaby kind of feel to it. And of course that does actually ring true with the song and the nature of the song. I might just pull something else up that's probably a little bit more difficult. That's not about rainbows. Not a lead sheet. Let's not do a lead sheet. All right. Why not spend the next 3 minutes on a different time signature? So 6/8 in theatre pieces, you'll find 6/8 a lot. Generally, in my kind of experience, 6/8 tends to align with sort of this highly emotive ballad. Really, I want songs. There's sort of the characters are just a bit unsure and explorative and wanting to discover things, and the 6/8 or 3/4 tend to be there in those sorts of songs. Not always, but I find in a lot of contemporary theatre, it's like it's always got to be 6/8 if you got to really emote. It seems to like give you a good emotive kind of platform to emote. So how many and of what? So how many? 6. Of what? 8. What is 8? Again, going back to fractions, it's an 8th note. What is an 8th note? Hopefully, from what you can recall before, the 8th note is the quaver. What does that mean? It means that there will be 6 quavers within a bar. Okay? We can already spot this now, and we haven't really covered rests yet. I always forget to cover rests. How to count silence. Now, silence is really important. Each note duration that I just covered in the beginning of the class does have a corresponding silent equivalent. A symbol that does not really look like the symbol of the note duration, which is probably actually really important because then you'd mix them up. But right now, just so you know, there's a quaver rest here. That's a quaver. That's a quaver. That's a quaver. 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 So already I can see there are six quavers per bar. Now 6/8 is referred to, and I hope I'm right on this, and if I'm not, I'm so sorry. It should be referred to as a compound time, so it's not simple time, which 4/4 and 2/4 and 3/4 are, I believe, if they're divisible by, or I'm going to look into this. Usually, I think if it's divisible by 2 or 4, the top number, it's referred to as simple time. But 3/4 is also constituted as simple time too, so I think that might be the exception to the rule. I'm so sorry if that's wrong. But in this case, we have a compound time, which is 6/8. And if I want to divide it, in 6/8, the strong rhythms are on 1 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah? More importantly, sometimes I like to divide it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and you can do whatever you wish. People like to count up to 6. That seems to be the more popular way. I just prefer to 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and So just to give you a bit of an indication, because we're at time now, if I was to read this, 6 quavers per bar, and then the 90 BPM, which ting ting, which is a crotchet pulse. It really should be a dotted crotchet pulse, but let's just ignore that for a second. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Hey, real one. No, I don't know Rhythmbot. When you just have some interaction on the Twitch, which is very exciting. No, I don't know Rhythmbot, but I will definitely check it out. 13.8 is a wild time signature that I have just not been blessed to play that. But yeah, Real One is recommending an awesome tool called Rhythmbot, which I will check out for practicing rhythm. That's great. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll pass that on to my tribe, my music theory peeps. That's really great. This is the fun thing of doing multi-platforms. Cool. All right. Well, let's leave things there. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them through. Feel free to pop them into the chat. I'll hang out for a few minutes longer. Thanks, Wingyi. Always a pleasure to have you here. Your presence is, I'm grateful for your presence. So yell out if you have any questions. I'll stop the screen share and you enjoy your day. All right. And thanks, Lauren. Thanks for people joining in on the Twitch world. Thanks, Real One. I'm going to check out the Rhythmbot. Thanks, man. That's great. Shouldn't gender you. My bad. Thanks for the follow. That's really sweet. Usually I'm playing games or sometimes just chatting to camera. But 2 days a week I do music theory training. So if you have anything you'd like me to divulge or pick apart, you let me know, and I will do that. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up. I've got a busy day today. I've got an interview with Apple, which is crazy, and then meditation in half an hour, and lots going on, and maybe I won't do a stream today. That's crazy. I already did a stream today. Come on, Daniela, chill out. And I'm just gonna hang out for a couple minutes whilst I do random shit that's of no description, such as check my emails, because that's interesting. Thanks for the follow. Woo! Good to have more friends. Like friends. Friends are great. They make me happy and provide me necessary validation. Na 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 na. This is my friend song. Na 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 na. It is my friend song. Why am I making such random sounds? I don't know. You're gonna nail it. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks. Oh, it's weird to sit in an interview. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Lauren, did I send you the Zoom link for meditation? Do you want to come? What are you vibing? You know what I mean? Soundtrack. Follow you back, Real One, and I will check out Soundtrack. I think I know Soundtrack. I think many people have told me about this. Yeah, he's got such a good. Everything looks nice. I'm just starting out. I'm working on my aesthetics, you know. I'm clean. I'm keen. Far out, Daniela. I'm keen. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll send you the Zoom link, and I forgot to message my teacher, but she's generally fine with just new people. You know what you're doing. I'm thirsty. fun, this Twitch world. It's great. It's such a magical place. You can do so many things. It's crazy. I'm just watching soundtrack and I'm just seeing lots of colours. This must be some sort of waiting screen. I don't know what to do about this. Introducing soundtrack by Twitch. Oh. To feature licensed music within their live stream, also creating new wave music. Oh, okay. Yet another piece of technology I must investigate that's going to drive me insane. I shouldn't say that. I'm just like such a hyper fixated brain that I'm like, as soon as I find something new, I'm like, how can this better me and improve my life? You know what I mean? Anyway, we've got a concert that I'm preparing for next month, and I need to create some artwork for that. So that's been on my mind today. And then I've got like 2 piano backing tracks to do, which is a great time. There's a lot to do, guys. So I apologize if your boy seems a little bit stressed. He's just trying to sort of. Why aren't people using threads? Why aren't you using threads? All right. Well, if you're hanging around and nothing's happening, that's just life, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream so I can focus on what I'm doing. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. And thank you for the follow, everyone. That was really sweet. Really appreciate it. And hopefully you can join in on one of my other streams. And if not, that's okay. And I'll say goodbye to you. Goodbye. Hey Z, how you doing? What's news? Hey, if you all talk at the same time, I get some sort of magical thing. Oh, you're joining as I'm leaving. I'm so sorry. I'm that guy. Yeah, I just had my theory class, so I just taught for the past 30 odd minutes. I just do it twice a week, and we seem to be passing ships in the night, which really means that I should start a schedule, but I am schedule phobic. Although the theory stuff is on my schedule. So there's that, which is cool. Hey, what if I chat? Does that mean 3 people are chatting? I don't know. How does the Twitch algorithm work? The stream on the Twitch is a good 30 seconds more delayed than the website. I logged into my laptop and then switched over to my iPad and bam, delayed. Not a problem, but probably good to know. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Lauren. When you say website, do you mean YouTube? Are you saying that YouTube's more delayed? Are you saying that Twitch is more delayed? I'm so confused, Z. Z, I'm confused too. I'm constantly confused. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry if I'm making you feel confused. I'm constantly confused. I'm gonna get some water because that's probably why I'm confused if I'm not drinking water. Oh, I've got a big study weekend I've got a study weekend this weekend, which I gotta do. For kinesiology. And then I've got a concert on Monday, concert on Sunday, which someone else is playing for. So that'd be nice. All right. I'm going to send you the link, Lauren, so you can come to meditation. And so you're probably confused because I'm reading lots of different messages across different platforms. And I just need to copy some links. What time is it there? Thanks, Lauren. Always gotta drink the water. It's 11:40 a.m. What time is it for you, Z? 6 a.m. No, it shouldn't be. It's probably like 12. No, I don't know. I should probably get like a clocks on the wall that show the different times. Oh, guys, there's a lot going on. Got a very busy day. 3 rehearsals, or 2, feels like 3. Do, 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 do. 8:41 p.m. Okay, it's not too bad. Not too crazy late as it has been in the past. How you been sleeping? How's school going? Talk to me. Lauren, this is the Zoom with my teacher. Yeah, so it's a relatively gentle practice. She'll probably just say hi to you and want to know a bit of background as to like your meditation background, and just so she can get to know you a little bit, which helps her guide the meditation. Does that make sense? So it's really nice though. It's quite a peaceful. I really like it. She's very amazing. I have a lot of time, so much time. Yeah, and then I've got an interview with Apple at 1 p.m. online. So I kind of prepared some responses, but I'm still feeling like a bit unsure. And then, it's Sunday. Great, it's Monday here. We're in the future. Which is pretty cool. Isn't Twitch cool? You just sort of go on and you meet people like Z and Lauren's there and everyone's just having a great time. And as for pay, Lauren, you don't have to pay. No, she does do a Dana arrangement, which is donation, which is all online. I actually have to donate some money. It's been a while since I've done that. But no, there's no cost in that sense. She's kind of giving her time. That being said, the studio might disappear because of the finance things. I think she's having some trouble keeping it open, which is very sad. And I hope it doesn't disappear because that'll make me really sad. 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 Sad, 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 sad. I'm multitasking, which is really not entertaining for the Twitch, so I should probably just end my stream and just be cool about it. I really like the hello. Thanks, Z. I know I'm being a little shit. I feel like I'm just like doing a few things and keeping the stream going and then being a bit antisocial, so I apologize. You didn't stop it from ending. I like people popping in and saying hi. Just my addictive personality being like, I'll just stream for days. This will be amazing. And then I'm like, Daniela, you have things to do. You gotta do things. But who knows? Maybe I could just do this full time. Wouldn't that be cool? Next week we should book a time for big Twitch hangs and we all get on at the same time. That'd be great. That's a great idea, Lauren. Seeing as I've got a song that I need to finish producing for you. All right, friends. Now I'm going to leave because I want to prepare some pasta so that I can eat before my Apple interview. But right now, there's sort of no conceivable time. I got holidays next week. That's cool. I'm going on a meditation retreat July 2nd to the 4th. So that'd be nice going out into the country. That'd be really sweet. Is there anything else I need to do? Check my mail again. That's what I need to do, right? So I'm going to think out loud for a second. See if I can make pasta for lunch. Meditation will generally goes over half an hour. But you just leave when you need to. And then my Apple interview is at 1, which will go for an hour. And then I've got a rehearsal with Steph for Broadway Unplugged at 2. And then I've got a rehearsal with Belinda at 3. And then I need to possibly generate a backing track at that point. I need to study too. As I said, I've got a kinesiology weekend this weekend. So I need to get that done. Lauren, it might just be you and me right now. So I'm going to run away. And hope Z's okay. And until next time, who knows, I might be on 50